Pokemon heads and fucking Pokemon degenerates, welcome back to my channel. If you just like Pokemon TCG and like watching content about it, then you might be a Pokehead. If you like throwing a bunch of money at Pokemon cards, you might be a Pokemon degenerate. That's why I choose to say both. Now remember, I'm keeping track. I'm the biggest degenerate of them all. I'm keeping track of my time capsule binder and slabs. That way we can keep track later on how these cards do. And if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe so that you can keep track with me, follow me in my journey to collect 1 million in Pokemon cards and slabs. And also press the like button. And if you're looking for awesome deals on Pokemon cards from reputable sellers, check out the TCG Market. It's a Discord that I've created down below. It's a free marketplace and it's a community that we're forming. So check it out. There's also safe trading, which I offer you guys if you want to trade, to go through me. That way you don't get scammed. So check it out. Link is in the comments. But in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys a card that I recently picked up for time capsule binder, right? To keep track of things. And as I do this, I want to talk about a topic question that someone asked me recently. And this question, by the way, I'm going to be opening this up here instead of switching over because it's just one package. But the question that I was recently asked is vintage a good investment right now? Now, I never suggest what you guys should buy or sell or when to do it. I can always just give you guys my opinion on things and you make your own decisions, right? So in my viewpoint, vintage Pokemon cards have been dropping. And the reason I know this is because I have an e-reader collection that I used to collect e-readers. Right now, I kind of switched it to just higher end cards. But I placed this e-reader, this Magneton Holo, for sale. And I bought this like a year ago, or maybe like less, like 9 months or so ago. Anyways, I bought this for $55 and I've noticed that right now the market price is at $25. So it has lost 50% of its value in less than a year. I feel like it should have gone the other way. But this is kind of the trend that you are going to see if you look at vintage, older big hits. Like if you take a look at the Charizard, I think there was like Phantom Forces or something like that. So one Charizard from there went from 600 to 500. If you take a look at other Charizards, like first editions, they've been dropping. So the highest vintage cards of each set have been dropping. So you might be thinking, okay, this is a good opportunity to buy because the prices are low. But honestly, fams, I'm going to tell you guys this, how I would do it. I would never buy a card, or at least I try to avoid it now. I have in the past, but I'm trying to avoid buying cards that I don't 100% have conviction in, that I like personally, because this will make it so that you don't hang on to the card forever, right? If the card drops and you don't have confidence and conviction in it, you will sell it off, or later on, if you want to go for different cards and you need money, you'll probably sell those cards that you're not that, have that much conviction on. So always try to buy cards that you personally like so that you can hang on to it for a really long time. That's kind of my philosophy with these cards. If they drop to $0 in value, let's say, right, crash, I still have awesome artworks that I can look at, right? That's kind of why I don't go after booster boxes. I know they make good returns, but I don't like watching a gray cardboard box, right? I rather have really, the reason I collect is because I think these are pieces of artwork that can fit in your palm of your hand. They're smaller, right? I truly believe these are beautiful pieces of artwork, like a painting type of deal. So I go for the cards I go for the cards that I like. And really, vintage cards, there has to be something that is super unique for me to go after that card, or if it's a really popular Pokemon. But I do have like the first editions, the Shadowless, because those are just iconic cards. Another reason I feel like people collect vintage is because of nostalgic of when they were playing the game, right? A lot of these older cards don't have full artwork. It's more about having that nostalgic, hey, I remember this card from my youth, from playing. And honestly, I'm more of a collector that is going after the artwork versus the nostalgic aspect. So that's why I go for cards that I have been tag team, alt arts, and different cards like that. However, this card here that that I'm opening very slowly is a vintage card I just saw, and this is a card that I would buy. The reason, and it has this has this team bag on it, so it's kind of hard for you guys to see on camera here. But the reason is because look at this card. It's kind of different than what you normally would see, right? It has shine to it. It has the Rayquaza, it's Delta species. So for me to pick up a vintage card, it would have to be like this. Really, a card that's going to be really sought after because it's different. I wish this was the reverse because it would have the set name, but this doesn't come in a reverse. So I just thought this card was awesome. The Rayquaza EX Delta species, right? So I don't think I'm going to grade this as a 10 or anything like that. This would really just be a binder piece to keep track of how this will move throughout the marketplace. So I'm going to be putting this in the top loader binder in the time capsule. But I just wanted to share some opinions of mine of vintage cards. I always said I like cards that are rare and they're really cool, they're collectible. So vintage cards do check off the rarity, but I feel like just recently, like in XY, Sun and Moon, the artwork for Pokemon cards really exploded into masterpieces. So that's kind of what I'm going after. Even though these cards have rarity, they don't have that beautiful, crazy artwork that I'm looking for. So that's kind of why Sun and Moon and XY is my sweet spot. They are still a bit of rare cards, but they some of those cards have really amazing artwork that I would personally like to look at, like to collect, that I really strongly believe in, right? So that's kind of my 1-2 cents. Collect vintage, invest in vintage, if that's something that you believe in, if you think you can hold on to those things for a long time, if you don't think there's going to be other cards that you would rather look at, invest in, right, have in your collection. So that's a bit about that. Subscribe if you haven't, press the like button, and I hope to see you in the Discord later.